You ready? Hello, and welcome to our show. I'm your host, Bob, and today's topic of debate: should you get a fully electric vehicle? Our debaters today are Bobby Volts, who will be taking the affirmative, and Robert Petrol, who will be giving us the negative. They have both chosen the 3 points they feel best cover their topic, and after each point is given, the other debater will be given the chance at rebuttal. Let's go ahead and get started with Bobby and his position that you should get a fully electric vehicle. Take it away, Bobby. Thanks very much, Bob. My first point is that EVs are better for the environment than gas-powered cars. EVs don't emit harmful emissions while they're being used. They can also be powered by renewables like solar, geothermal, or wind power.
What are the things when it's an electric vehicle that you take into account about its environmental impact?
One really important aspect of an EV to think about is its battery.
NPR journalist Camilla Domonowski said that building a battery is an environmental cost that's paid once. Burning gasoline is a cost that's paid again and again. It's true, EVs do take a fair amount of fossil fuel to get them from being buried in the ground to at use in an electric vehicle. However, cradle-to-grave life cycle analysis studies have shown us that EVs impact the climate less overall, which translates to better overall outcomes for everyone. The way things are now, we can't be perfect in protecting our environment, but we can be better than we were. Thanks very much, Mr. Volts. Mr. Petrol, it's over to you for rebuttal. A lot of the things that Volts is saying make it seem like all of these things are already ubiquitous. Electric vehicles can be powered by renewables, but are they? No. Usually it's just coal. Batteries can be reused, but how often are they actually? Recycling batteries is an extremely difficult thing to do, and most people don't have the skill or the equipment necessary to make it happen. You've made some good points, Mr. Petrol. It's over to you for the negative, and audience members are reminded to award points based on facts and data and not freakishly good facial hair. Take it away, Robert. Thanks very much, Bob. My first point is that EVs are not carbon neutral. They still damage the environment, and their batteries can be dangerous. You see all these batteries right here? EVs need these, and most of them are made with lithium or cobalt, and the mining of those metals can be extremely detrimental to the environment. Martina Engini, who is the editor-in-chief of Earth.org, said, "Lithium mining is extremely detrimental to the environment, with side effects including water loss and contamination. Hard fact. For every 1 ton of lithium that is mined, there are 15 tons of CO2 that is produced, and the demand for lithium is only going to go up. And on top of that, EVs out in the world still pollute things because, as I said before, they're not powered by renewables. They're usually powered by coal." My last point. These lithium-ion batteries that power EVs have a tendency to blow up while driving, in a wreck, or just plugged into your house charging.
It'll go into a thermal runaway, and there's really no way to cool it or interrupt that cycle. At that point, the only thing that we can do is let it burn.
Combustion engines do this too, but EV fires are extremely difficult to put out, and they can still start back up again if you're not careful. Not to mention all of these toxic gases and smoke that is put into the air that you and I breathe. Thanks very much, Mr. Petrol. Bobby, it's over to you for the rebuttal. Lithium mining could be better, it's true, but getting car parts to gas engines isn't a bloodless process either. And EVs blowing up has been widely misconstrued across the internet or the media. Most are either taken out of proportion or misreported when an EV catches fire and there was already a structure fire going on. Some solid points, Mr. Volts. Again, audience members are reminded to award points based on evidence and not freakishly good content delivery. Go ahead and continue with your second point, Mr. Volts. My second point is that EVs are less expensive to fuel and maintain. Electric engines are much more straightforward than combustion ones, and that translates to fewer moving parts and fewer things that need to be repaired or replaced over time. Chris Hardesty of Kelley Blue Book said that EV drivers don't need to worry about engine oil or transmission fluid in their cars. There aren't many fluids to monitor in an EV.
The main factor on EV acceptance, EV growth is, do you have enough affordable vehicles?
In 15 major cities in the US, a survey was done and found that the EV driver saves around $500 a year by just not having to fill up at the gas station. What's the price of gas where you are right now? If you change things a little bit and measure things by 100,000 miles driven, the average EV driver is saving around $4,000 to $9,000 over those 100,000 miles driven. Even in states like Connecticut, which charge the most for electricity when you're using it at your house, EV drivers are still saving around $29 a month by not having to fill up at the gas station. That's your time, Mr. Volts. Mr. Petrol, it's over to you for rebuttal. There are less moving parts on an electric engine, but that also means that when something does actually break, it's going to be a lot more expensive to fix. Also, you can forget about doing anything yourself if you're a DIYer. I'm sure lots of EV owners are saving money right now, But what happens when states start charging more for electricity that goes to EVs specifically, or states start taxing home chargers differently? A lot of states are already doing that. Thank you for those points, Mr. Petrol. Go ahead and continue with your second point, please. My second point is that EVs cost way more to buy than gas-powered cars. If you look at the cheapest EVs that were put out in 2025, the Nissan Leaf and Nissan Versa respectively, the Leaf was $29,000 and the Versa was $17,000. That's almost twice as expensive. Would you pay that much upfront if it led to cost savings down the road?
Are evolving quicker than the traditional car, which means a 2 or 3 year old EV seems that much more obsolete than a 2 or 3 year old gasoline or even hybrid vehicle.
Also, there used to be tax credits for buying new or used EVs, but that's not a thing anymore. You might be tempted by the savings on gas that an EV gets you, but you have to be able to cover the buy-in charge, and most people can't, especially when states start charging extra for fees or taxes that are EV specific. The US News publication said, Oregon, for example, has one of the best EV rebate programs in the US, but charges buyers of electric cars more than double the rate for registration than non-EV buyers and nearly double the title price. Most states in the US right now have extra fees that make up for the taxes they get around by not being gas-powered. But there are very few Americans who can even afford to buy an EV in the first place. That's your time up, Mr. Petrol. Mr. Volts, your rebuttal, please. It's true, EVs off the lot are stupid expensive, but that's only if you buy them new. The price of used EVs is coming down a lot, and it's only going to come down more the more advanced the technology becomes. Thanks for that. Just checking my notes here, it looks like now is the time to like the video if you haven't already. All right, go ahead and continue with your third point, please. My last point is that EVs are quiet and offer better handling than gas-powered cars. Environmentalist David Kushta said, on traditional cars, the engine makes a combustion noise as the cylinder pressure changes. The only noise by EVs comes from their tires and wind resistance while driving.
It's really smooth and quiet. I didn't even realize how loud our last car was until we got this car. And it's one of those cars where you close the door and it makes like a satisfying ka-chunk sound when it closes. And then it's just like really quiet.
EVs were so quiet that it actually started to become a problem. With a gas engine, you can hear it coming and move out of the way if you don't see it. But with an EV, you won't hear it coming, so you can't get out of the way, which makes things get dangerous real fast. Luckily, this problem has been solved by requiring all EVs to play a quiet hum as they're driving at low speeds. Another thing, EVs have a very low center of gravity because of the massive battery packs in the bottom of the car, which makes them handle much better than a traditional car. And the handling of an electric car is something that pretty much all EV drivers will rave about. Excellent points. Thank you very much. Mr. Petrol, your rebuttal, please. I don't know if you've been on the road lately, but most cars are pretty quiet now. The majority of road and traffic noises comes from tires rolling on the pavement. EVs can actually be a lot louder in that sense at higher speeds than normal cars because their tires are so much wider and they are extremely heavy. Well said. So over to you for your final point, Mr. Petrol. My third point is that EVs are less reliable than normal cars and lack the infrastructure needed to support them. In a survey done about how people feel about EVs, 50% of those surveys felt that EVs were less reliable than traditional cars. And there seems to be a reason for this. Consumer Reports found that EVs have twice as many problems and are generally less reliable overall. In reference to infrastructure, there are around 100 gas stations per every 1,000 miles of road in the US. For EVs, that's only 22 chargers per every 1,000 miles. And most of those chargers are found in big cities, not in the spaces in between. The CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, tried to take his EV truck on a long road trip and was quoted at the end as having said, "Charging has been pretty challenging."
The infrastructure for chargers needs to improve. It's been the same since we got this car.
We drive past all these gas stations. If there were even half as many fast chargers as there are gas stations, we would be set.
This lack of chargers gives people range anxiety. Lots of people have cited their fear of running out of juice before finding a charger as one of the main reasons not to get an EV. That's the time for your final point, Mr. Petrol. Mr. Volts, your final rebuttal. If you'll notice, the data he cited for that last one was how people felt about things. Not exactly hard facts there, Robert. Also, people only have range anxiety because it's a new, not yet ubiquitous technology. People run out of gas stations all the time, even with the myriad of gas stations everywhere. All that's required is a little bit of forethought and you'll be fine. Mr. Volts, Mr. Petrol, you've both made excellent points today. That's our show, folks. Go ahead and let us know in the comments who you think won that debate. we'll leave it up to our audience to decide who the winner was. If you are already subscribed, you are a happy vehicle with a full tank of something ready to drive off into the sunset. And if not, you are a sad vehicle stranded on the side of the road somewhere with a flat tire. As always, keep your towel close, your friends closer, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. So, you guys doing anything after this, or gonna hang out? Maybe get a bite to eat? What you thinking? Do you like each other, or?